Hi, this is Zach from Docusoft. Today we'll be looking at the Outlook add-in, and the module I'm going to be covering is how to file your emails and documents. So let's start with received emails and documents from your clients, and you'd want to be able to save them into our system. So you'll see here I've got James Hill, and he's from Hill Premier Accountants on our demo system. So I've just received this email. I want to file the email and the attachments into our system. So I would just go up to this cloud button up the top here, and when I click on that, it's going to give you a filing screen. So I can choose what folder I want to save it under. So this client is actually under this client folder and my customer folder. So I'm going to select it on the customer folder for this one. And then I would choose the section. So it's a bit like what you'd have as folders and subfolders on your computer. We call them sections within our system. So you can choose where you want to save this to. And so this is about tax. So I'm going to click on the tax. It's already brought the client details through because it's read the email address from the contact for that client, Hill Premier. So it's pulled that information through for you. And then I can choose a category. So I can say this one's being reviewed. And then it pulls through the file name as the subject of that email. So at this point, I can change that email subject if I want to call it a different file name. And I can also have standard file names set up, so standard descriptions within our system on our admin tool. So you can set up as many of these as you want per section. And so you could either select one of those or type what you want to save it as. So tax email. I can also then publish this directly to our portal. So if I tick that button, when I hit submit, it will save it into the client's file, but it will also publish it to our portal. So it'll take you to the portal screen to send it to somebody via the portal. I can action or copy a colleague in my company into this and to give them a reason why they need to look at it. So there's an email coming through to an info at email box, for instance, and I know that it's my colleague Scott that needs to look at it. I would tick Scott for action, and then I give him an action by date of when he needs to action this by. So this is going to create a task for him. It's got the document date as when I received this email, and it's also got a filing date of when I'm filing it. And then I need to give it a comment. So again, in our admin tools, you can set up lots of standard comments, or you just write in the comment here of this is for Scott for his task. So please check over and view attachments. So at this point, I've got the section file of it. I've got the folder of which folder I'm using. You'll probably just have a client folder. It's going to be saved under that client name with a category being reviewed. Description, I've given it as tax email. I'm going to publish it to the portal, and then we've got the tick to action it for Scott as well to give him a task. Given him an action by date. It's got all the filing information in there. I've given a comment to Scott of what he needs to do on his task, and at that point I'd hit the submit button and that will file that email away. And so we're just filing that away. So you'll get an email has been filed to Docusoft under Customers Hill Premier Accountants. At that point, it should now jump me to our portal to send this email over via the portal because we selected that button on it. So it's going to take you to the composed message to Hill Premier. And so if you want to view more on our portal, please watch my portal video and it will show you how you can add e-signatures and approval and send stuff via our portal. But this was just showing you that link to it when you're filing. So now if I select another email and then come back to James Hill, you'll see it'll have a Docsofted category across it, so you know that that's been Docusofted. At this point, we would always suggest, you know it's in the system, you could delete that email now. So it doesn't need to be in your Outlook anymore, but that's entirely up to you, or you can move it to a done folder, whatever's best for yourself, but that is filed into Docusoft so you can get to it whenever you need it. So that's filing the whole email and the attachments together. If I just wanted to file the attachments and not the email, all I would do is right click on one of these attachments, and you'll see it's taken me to an attachments bit up the top, a tab for attachments, and then I've got a Docusoft button. So if I click on that Docusoft button, it's now going to ask me which ones I want to save out of the attachments on that email. So I could just save just the one, or I can save all of them. If I'm not happy with the file names for them, I can rename them from here as well. So I could call this one bank statement, but without that dash in it, for instance. So it's going to change it on there for me before I file it. Once you're happy that you've made all the changes here and you've got the attachments you want to Docusoft, click the confirm button. And again, you're going to get this same screen up. So from here, I can give it the folder, and I'm going to go to my customer one. Again, it's pulled the client through from the email, but you could change it here if you wanted to. It needs to be filed somewhere else. Choose where I'm going to file it. So I'm going to say tax again. Again, I can action or copy it to. I can publish it to the portal, give it an action by date, blah, blah, blah. And at this point, once you're happy, you hit submit and it will save those attachments, just the attachments and not the email, into the system. Also, we're going to have a look at file on send. So if I'm sending a new email, we can file when we're sending that email. So normally you just get up to this screen. So you've got your filing bit down the right hand side, and then on this left hand side you've got templates and address book. So I can either start typing this information in. So I'm going to send this to Hill Premier Accountants. When I put their email in, it pulls through the client over here, so it'll start filling in the details as I go. Or if I'm not sure of the email address, like I knew that one off by heart, you can pull out from this side and you've got your address book here for the different folders. So I want to look at my customer folder, and I want to look at customer Hill Premier. So I would double click on that, and then that's brought his email in. So you've got your whole address book here, and you can filter via any of these. So the name of the company, you could filter there if you had lots in there. So you can really filter down from that. At this point as well, I could use a template. So please watch our other video on how to create a template within our system for mail merge and for letters of engagement and that sort of thing. But I've got some templates set up. So if I just click on the folder I have it saved under, and then the section that I've saved that under, you'll see I've got quite a few set up here. If we just look at this portal letter of engagement one, for instance, when I select that, it will then write the email for me, and it's got a merge bit on the name that I've set up, so it's going to pull the name of my contact through onto it. So here we go, it's saying, "Dear James, attached is your letter of engagement. Please sign and approve, blah de blah." So if I got rid of the to box now, and when it catches up with me, and then I select a different template, you'll see it's got that merge box there. So if I click on the portal letter of engagement again, and let it catch up with me, you'll see it's got that dear first name attached as your letter of engagement. So now if I select that client, it's going to fill that merge box in for me. So it's just a quicker way. You can have lots of standard templates set up, for your emails, and they're always there for you to create quick emails to send to your clients. So on the filing side of things, it's always ticked file on send. You can untick it if you didn't want to file it. You can also publish this to the portal at the same time as sending it to them by ticking that one. You'll see it's filled in the client via the email address from selecting it over here. Then you can choose your category, and you can also then, it's pulled the subject as the file name, but again you can choose a standard one from here if you've got a standard one set up, or you can type in a new file name there as well. And again, I can action or copy a colleague into it via selecting this bit if I need them to have a task set up while I send this. Give it an action by date for that person and a comment if you're actioning them in. And then when you hit send to send this email across, it will file it at the same time as sending. And once it's finished sending it, so you'll see on the bar down here it was doing it, it'll then say it's filed to Docusoft at the same time as sending that email across. So that's how you can send documents directly to our DMS when you're sending an email, or how you can get your emails and your documents into the system. Thank you very much for watching. Please check out my other modules on the Outlook add-ins.